Hey makers! Before we get into this Cricut tutorial, make sure that you have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on our next Cricut tutorial. Now let's go ahead and get started.
In today's Cricut tutorial, I will be showing you how to apply both regular and glitter heat transfer in one project. So let's go ahead and get started. 2, 3, go! For those of you who do not know me, my name is The Mysterious Maker and I do weekly Cricut tutorials here on YouTube. Today we will be creating a 2-color heat transfer t-shirt. Now you may want to grab some of these different materials from your craft room because we need to have the 2 different items for this project. So in this project we will be using Caesar Easyweed. This is a 1-yard roll of this. I don't know exactly where I bought this one, but I know you can get it at 143 Vinyl. And you can find all of the links to these in the description below. This is a Caesar glitter. This is my personal favorite of the glitter iron-on. I know that there is one other type, I'm pretty sure, of the glitter iron-on, but Caesar glitter is my favorite and it comes in a wide variety of colors. This is the Caesar glitter rose gold, and it is absolutely beautiful for the project we are going to be creating. Of course, you do need something to apply it onto. This is a t-shirt that I got from Walmart. It is one of the George brand t-shirts, and it was about $3.88. You can also use the Bella Canvas t-shirts for this. I would not recommend any other t-shirts, but I know that these 2 t-shirts are not only the most comfy, but they are very inexpensive. Of course, we have our large squeegee or scraper. We have our pair of scissors, and then we have our Caesar weeder. So now that you have all of your materials, let's go ahead and hop over to the computer and start designing.
Okay, so now that we are on Cricut Design Space, you are going to go over to the left side and click Upload. Then from here, we are going to click Upload Image. And then we are going to go down to the description and click on the first link where you can download today's free image. But we are going to go ahead and drag and drop that SVG over here. If you are doing a 1-color item, I would recommend making it just be the PNG version. The PNG version is a lot easier for your 1-color designs. But because we are doing a 2-color design, I'm going to use my SVG and click Upload. Then from here, I'm going to go under my recent uploads and click on the image and then click Insert Images. Then we are going to make sure that it is locked and size it up to 8 inches wide. Then we want to actually do a little bit of altering with this SVG. For some reason, when I created this SVG, it did not let me group all of our letters in one nice little grouping thing. And so now it's going to, when you put it on your map, be all scrambled up. But we can fix that. When you click on Ungroup, you can just select all of these icons and then make sure it says Attach at the bottom right. And then all of this will be moving around nice for you. Now that we are about to make this item, I'm going to go and click on Make It. I am going to go ahead and mirror my design because if you don't mirror it, that's going to be a fun thing when you have to throw out some iron on later on. And I will go ahead and select my second one and mirror it as well because I don't want to forget. Now that we are ready, we are going to go ahead and click Continue. And I'm going to wait on my Cricut to respond and cut ahead to later on in the video when everything is cut. Okay, so if you don't know how to create a custom setting and you don't have these settings already favorited, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and get your custom glitter iron-on setting. So on my Air 2, if you have a Maker, you already should have this down, but if you have an Air 2, you have to switch yours to the custom setting. Then we're going to go to browse all materials, and in the search bar we're going to type in glitter. Then we're going to search for glitter iron-on, and I'd always like to put a star next to it because I feel like I'm going to use that a lot. The glitter iron-on one is the perfect setting for your Caesar glitter. So if you are cutting Caesar glitter, I would use the glitter iron-on by Cricut. Okay, so when weeding glitter iron-on, you can see that it kind of cuts very intricately on very easy designs. It's really nice. I like glitter iron-on simply because it's it's easier to be able to cut intricate designs on. But you cannot usually see where it cuts. So a little tip that I have is I like to just peel with my weeder the very top corner and then just peel down my vinyl. And doing this makes it so that it won't harm my design, but will still give me that nice lines to weed. So even if I can't see my lines, it's always easier to just go up to that top corner and get a nice, all of my excess off. Then I'm going to just weed out my smaller designs, and I just kind of poke where I think they will be. So I knew that there would be a part there, so I did that. It's always helpful to pull up Design Space or your reference image of what it's supposed to look like so that you can see where your things are. So now that we have this weeded, I have already weeded the other design, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my Easy Press out. I will warn you, if you do not change fonts, this comma or this apostrophe on the don't will come up very easily. So this would be a good time to maybe get out your intricate weeder or a pencil and try and just shove it into the right part. I'm not too concerned about it coming up because even if it does, it still doesn't change the message. It just shows that it's a little bit extra homemade. Now, before I do my t-shirt or anything, I do like to get it preheated and just get all of its wrinkles out. It doesn't have very many on it already, but I'm still going to do that same process where I take my Easy Press and kind of just go over it in a kind of like a box square, since mine's an Easy Press. If you have a heat press, you can always just put it on there for about 2 to 3 seconds and get all of your wrinkles out. That'll always work. So let's go ahead and place our design on here. Now, we have 2 designs, so we do have to allow space for there to be both of the designs. So we do have a little bit of a predicament because we cannot press both of them at the same time, and honestly, I wouldn't want to. So I'm just going to make sure that my glitter one will fit when I put the white on around it. And I do this when I just take I take like 4 fingers. It's not very extra method, but I like to make sure there's 5 fingers on this side and there's about 5 fingers on this side as well, so that's a good even spot. And then I do want to make sure that there is enough, about 3 or 4 fingertips from the top. I'm gonna move it down just a bit because I take a reference shirt that I've gotten from another place, and on my reference shirt it says I need to make it down about 6 fingers. So when I do that, I'm gonna do about 4 fingers, and you can see my Easy Press is now warm. So we're gonna just move this down just a tad and make it so that everything fits perfectly. So we want to make sure that our flamingo is about 5 fingers down, and it's about 6, so that's a good amount. And then we're gonna make sure that this is level with the bottom, and it'll be fine. There will be enough room. We have our 1 hand length, and it's a little bit on the left side, so we're gonna move it over to the right and make sure that there is still enough room. So we've got our 5 finger space on both sides.
I'm gonna actually move this over about another 2 or 3 finger lengths, just to make sure that we have enough room. And it looks like there's about 2 fingers on that side, and there's about 7 fingers on that side, which is a good amount. 7 fingers on both sides. So, now that we know that we have enough space on here, I'm gonna peel up my white design, stick it over to the side, and we are gonna go ahead and put our pillowcase on top of it. Some of you might have a more fancy method of doing that. If you have a pressing pillow, I don't know if you use one on this or not, but I always put a pillowcase on top of my designs, and that usually makes it so that the design is not the first thing that is touched by our heat, and I do like it to not be touched by the heat as its first thing. So we're gonna go ahead and just start getting the time correct. We wanna make sure it's at 320 for about 17 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and press it. And then now that it's on there, we can just go ahead and peel this pillowcase up, and we can see that we really only got that bottom part of the design. But that is actually okay. We're not going to worry about that too much right now. I can feel the design and feel that it is still warm. And when we want to peel it, we want to peel it when it is warm. Now it is still hot, and I'm not going to peel it now, but I wouldn't do that anyways. I still want to flip my t-shirt over and do the back side, because it's always good to do the back of your shirt before you peel your design up. So we're going to just make sure that we don't get any wrinkles. Put our pillowcase back on top. I do want to make sure that you realize that if you are using a pillowcase, it needs to be flat. You don't want the pillowcase to be all wrinkly, because that might affect your design and have bubbles on it. Okay, so now you can see that I have peeled the design. Everything worked. I do want to say that I did have to, when I peeled my design, I did peel it from the top because I felt like there wouldn't be enough pressure up there. And so I wanted to make sure that the design was fully set, and it didn't seem to be. So I went and repressed it one more time for 15 seconds only on the front, and it did sit that time. So now we are going to move over to our other design, which is with Easyweed. And when we do Easyweed, we need to make sure that our heat press is still at 17 seconds, but for 305 degrees. If it's not at 305 degrees and it's still at 320 degrees, your design may melt. And I don't think that we would want that. So we're real quick just gonna line this up exactly where we had thought we wanted to place it. It's still, I think this t-shirt is gonna look amazing once it's finished. It's gonna look so good. So we are gonna go ahead and place our pillowcase right on top of the design. I will warn you that if you are putting glitter on this side, I would say that you want to put your design, your heat press needs to line up pretty dang well, so that you aren't hitting that glitter more than once, because it will start losing some of its shininess. You can see our heat press is now ready. So we're gonna go ahead and just grab our heat press and just place it very close to that line. And now that we've done that, we can go ahead and lift our heat press back up. And then we do need to know that Easyweed is either hot or cold, so we don't really need to worry about it being too warm or too cold, whatever. We can just go ahead and start peeling this design. I'm gonna wait just a tad, just because I don't want it to bubble, and I know that if your design is still super duper warm, it will bubble. So I'm gonna take my scraper, go over it a few times and make it lose a little bit of its heat, get it to cool itself down just a little bit. And it's a little bit warmer or colder to the touch, so I'm gonna start peeling it up, and it's starting to peel. So that's okay, we know how to fix that. we can take our pillowcase back over it and press it one more time. So let's take our heat press and press our design one more time and hope and pray that nothing bad happens. And if it does, we always know that we can just press it one more time, go to the back, press it again, see if that fixes it. There's only about 2 ways to fix heat presses or your HTV, so easy, easy peasy. Now that we have pressed it again, and it is super duper warm, so I'm gonna let it be a little bit colder before I peel it back up. Okay, now that it is colder, I'm going to try and peel it up one more time, and it does not seem to want to stay down, which is okay. We're gonna just then decide, you know what, we're gonna go to the back side and press it then. And why I press it on the back is that will start making it a little bit smoother, I think, on the back. When you press it again, it'll kind of, I guess it talks to the HTV, I don't know. But it seems to work when you press it again one more time on that back side and one more time on that front side. So I'm gonna just keep pressing my design over and over until it does eventually stay down. Okay, so we are seeing that our issue when we peeled it up was on this D. So what I'm actually gonna do is just take my pair of scissors and cut off this excess part, because it doesn't need to be pressed again with our carrier sheet. It doesn't need to, because if I keep pressing it with that thing, it's going to get harder and harder for it to get stuck onto that shirt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just going to take my carrier sheet off, and I'm gonna just keep pressing that D. I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure down on it. And one thing I've seen, if you have home iron, it's always good to just go over it and kind of like a letter, like kind of highlighting that letter over and over and over again. So I'm just taking that tip of my Easy Press and just keep on going over it over and over again. I'm going away from the design, I'm not going towards it. And we're gonna see if that felt any better for that letter. Okay, so now that we have our t-shirt done, you can see how easy that was. All we had a problem with was one singular letter, and it actually did not take much longer after I cut ahead. All I did was put some more pressure on it, and it seemed to work. So if you do seem to find a problem where it is not sticking down and you're only doing medium pressure, I would up it to high pressure, and that will make the adhesive stick just a little bit better. So now that we have that done, you can go ahead and give this away, anything. Of course, all of your materials to make this yourself, as well as this SVG, is in the description below. So, of course, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave that like, comment down below your favorite part of the video. Make sure to check out that description for your links to other materials that you will need to complete this project, as well as some other materials you might want to check out before our next video. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!